You're listening to What She Said on Canada Talks.
Hello, I'm Christine Bentley here with Kate Wheeler, and we're joined by the founder of Fresh. It's a global brand now serving tasty vegan and pressed juices in numerous locations, including Russia and Mexico. Welcome, Ruth Tal.
Hi.
So, everybody, my kids think that this is kind of their thing, their generation's thing, this, vegan and everything organic and juicing but you were a trailblazer. They must have thought you were cuckoo when you started.
Yeah, my parents nearly disowned me.
Really?
Yeah. They thought I had joined some cult, some vegan cult.
Well, you were traveling. You just tell us about your travels. You spent a long time traveling.
I did. I moved downtown when I was 16. I dropped out of high school when I saved up. By the time I was 18, I left the country and came back when I was 25, and I traveled around Australia and the Far East and spent some time in Israel working in agriculture. And by the time I came back and had my first glass of carrot juice when I was 25, there was nothing really happening here in Toronto, but you could get a glass of cold-pressed carrot juice, and it just blew my mind. From that moment on, I bought a home juicer and started juicing and juice cleansing, and realized that there was just nowhere to go in Toronto as somebody who wanted to eat healthily, but still was hip, still young, still wanted to go out. And
so what year was that?
It was 25 years ago. I'm about to turn 50, so you do the math. What was 25 years ago from today?
25 years ago?
99, 2000.
90.
90, yeah, 90,
yeah.
1990.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a little nuts back then, for sure. People thought I was quite out there. But, over time.
So, given that the climate at the time, in terms of what was being offered to eat and drink, what made you decide that you were going to push ahead and create a business out of it?
It really came, initially it was about my own personal interest in juicing, and I was feeling so much better every day. And I guess I just had this evangelical desire to turn everybody else on, to feel as good as I was feeling. It really came out of that. And then I also realized that if I created my own little juice bar, a vegan cafe, I would actually have somewhere to go. There was nowhere else to go. And I figured if all else failed, at least I could feed myself. So yeah, that was the inspiration at the time. But then as people flocked, they really did flock to the little juice bar that I was running, and they came every day. And we were across from City TV, Much Music headquarters, so all the people working in that building really came to rely on what I was doing every day.
I remember all the people there this was like back when you could still smoke in the newsroom, and people would be smoking and then run over the world and think they were making up for it by having a cold pressed juice.
Or a wheatgrass.
Yeah, exactly.
But they, especially in the late afternoon when they were, these guys were working 12-hour days, and they fully appreciated not having to get a coffee and finding another way to keep going. And so it became not just about me, but sort of this commitment that I had to take care of these people, and then it just grew from there. It was a strange kind of feeling like I couldn't let them down, so I just kind of kept going, and
Well, you have one that I frequent. My daughter has been, she's away in Montreal now, but the one on Eglinton, because we'll go to Good Life, and then you're right next door, basically.
Yeah.
So we feel but we love the bowls. I mean, the food that you've developed over the years, that's her favorite.
Thank you. Yeah, the bowls are great, because it's just a meal in a bowl. Everything you need is in that one bowl. And that's sort of how I eat at home, how I've always eaten. So,
and you also break down, your menus are they really break down what is in everything, and it doesn't give you a calorie count or anything, but you sort of get the idea of how healthy it is, and all the superfoods.
Yeah.
You can get booster shots too.
Yeah, I always figured, I've always wanted to be completely transparent about what's in the food, because as a vegan especially, you go and you don't really know what's in the sauces, so every single ingredient is listed, and that's why I don't really get into calorie counts, because you know what's in there. And as far as all the wild and crazy ingredients and the superfoods, those come about from just the travels that I do. I love visiting other people's juice bars and cafes and healthy spots, and then I cook a lot at home, and then I come back to Fresh, and I just, back to Toronto, and just kind of want to stay at the forefront or the cutting edge of what's happening in the natural health industry, and it ends up on the menus. And there's always new stuff, like right now it's goji berries. Last year it was acai. And, I never want to become irrelevant,
What's lucuma? Lucuma.
Yeah, it's, there's a whole bunch of stuff coming out of the Central and South America. So maca, lucuma, mesquite are all high-protein powders that are derived from plants and ground into a powder. They all tend to be very high in protein. Lucama's special, attractiveness is it's a natural sweetener. Kind of tastes like cookie dough. It's like it got a vanilla flavor to it, and so it's considered a superfood because it's got such an amplified amount of protein. And
yeah, I've never heard of that. Most of the others on the list, acai,
not yet,
berries,
but you will.
Yeah, you will. And then coconut oil, of course, in recent years has made a big comeback.
Yeah. People are doing all, like Gwyneth Paltrow's brushing her teeth with coconut oil, and people are washing their face with it. And there's organic coconut oil, that is, or coconut butter, or those two. So coconut oil is, again, coconut has a lot of electrolytes in it, and it's a natural moisturizer, and it's a healthy fat. So you can put it in, you can cook with it or put it in your smoothies.
So I'm wondering, as you say, each year there's something else being introduced. I remember when chia seeds came out,
right?
And it was a superfood. I mean, where does this come from? Do people discover something new all the time, or is it just that we're bringing it from places where they already know about it and bringing it?
This stuff has been around forever, and I really mean forever in that, ancient indigenous peoples, tribes, cultures have been using these natural plant ingredients, grinding them, and they all know about it. The trick is, somebody coming along from the Western world, experiencing it, saying, oh, we should market this, we should brand this, let's bring this back. Like acai is a great example, and then it's just all about marketing, it's just about making people in the Western world aware of the benefits, and then boom.
But then we feel guilty because we end up like quinoa, for example.
Right.
We're hurting the native people by making it so popular in the West. So how do you find a balance?
How are we hurting?
Well, they said that the development, because they were having to produce so much, and that the costs were going down, and that the people were supported, and it was bad for the rotation of crops and everything there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's there's a dark side to everything, and it's all about balance for sure. And you hope that you have the right people in place to protect and do it right for sure. But at the end of the day, it's also bringing income to to communities that are at risk of, doing other stuff that's not quite so beneficial to their communities.
So at the beginning, did you know that you were going to be successful, or was it just kind of, let's give this a shot because I believe in this? And were you surprised?
Well, I think I had something to prove for a long time. As I said, my parents were really not so happy with me, and I had dropped out of high school, so I had a lot to prove, and that and this evangelical craziness, this passion that I had to share it with everyone. That was all I was thinking about at the time, and and working and creating a job for myself. The success that came later, that's been really exciting because it's realized a dream for me, which was, challenging the stereotype that being this way, that eating this way is bland or boring, that you can be hip and you can be healthy, you can glow, and heroin chic is over, all of that.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. So, success, I guess that's a relative term. I'm happy. I'm very, very happy that everybody's into it.
Well, we are talking with Ruth Tal. She's the founder of Fresh Restaurants and Juice Bars. You're a yogi, and you're also the author of 4 best-selling cookbooks. Tell us about the cookbooks.
Well, the first cookbook I wrote about 15 years ago, and it was all part of this idea that I wanted people to be inspired to do this at home. And that did really well, and so it's just rolled into year after year, taking the recipes that we've developed and sharing them with everyone. And I guess they're national bestsellers here in Canada, but...
And can people find them online?
Yeah, they can.
All the good online bookstores.
Yeah, you can find them online, Amazon, all over Canada. In fact, in bookstores around the world. Yeah.
And you're also launching something new in Montreal called...
Oh, Sophie will be happy.
LOV?
That's right. This is your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing about our restaurants here in Toronto, they're big, mammoth, 100-seat, crazy, hard to complex operations, and you know, the Love by Fresh is a spin-off. It's inspired by our menus, but it's tighter, smaller, a nimbler version of ourselves. And Montreal will be the first, I guess, prototype. And the expansion will continue on. We get a lot of requests. People always want us to open in their community, or they want a franchise. I've never franchised, so I've always been concerned that it'll screw it up. You know, it'll just blow it. I don't know a franchise that I want to eat at every single day, and so I didn't want to mess with the integrity of the concept. But this is the route to reaching more communities around the country.
So will the menu be the same?
It'll be the quinoa onion rings will be there. All our favorites will be there, but it'll be what's happening now in the modern vegan world is the fast casual approach to eating. So it doesn't have to be full service. It's just about, you know, being in the downtown core and, you know,
people just running, picking something up.
You can sit and eat, but, you know, maybe you don't want to eat at home, but it doesn't have to be such a big commitment to eat out. And that's sort of what we're going for, High design, really modern. All the usual stuff that people love.
So what do you say to someone who says, kale, ugh?
Well, I don't. Recently, there was this great shot of Beyonce in a sweatshirt. She looks kind of half naked. She looks really hot, and her sweatshirt says kale. And I think kale is it's one of the superfoods for sure. It used to be spinach, now it's kale. It's a super green. It's got great fat. You know, it's just got a lot of good stuff. We throw it in our smoothies. And I'm all about it. But, you know, next year it could be something else, so...
All right, we are going to take a break now. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more with Ruth Tal, who's the founder of Fresh Restaurants and Juice Bars, about, you know, what she predicts is going to be hot for this year and next. Stay with us here at What She Said. And we are back in studio. We are joined here by Ruth Tal, who is the founder of yummy Fresh Restaurants. I love them. My daughter takes me there all the time when she's in Toronto, and happy news that they'll be opening in Montreal in the summer, as well as Mexico City. That's exciting.
Mexico City's a great city, and they're really, really primed for this. They just can't wait. There's tons of yoga there, a lot of young people, and they're all Mexico by fact right now has the highest rate of obesity.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Just came out. Yeah. So it's really great to be there.
There's an emphasis then on going back to healthy.
Very much. So yeah.
So let me ask you, you know, being in the business this long, now you have competition because it's now a field that's sort of highly populated.
Yeah.
But how do you stay current and ahead of the curve?
By being the best at what we do.
Good answer.
Good for you.
By walking our talk and being passionate about it and hitting it on all levels. You know, it's about the flavor, about all the ingredients, and also the atmosphere that we create, and educating people. You know, I think if you just focus on yourself and doing the best that you can do, you're not looking back, you're looking forward. And I'm actually excited there's lots more competition. You know, I'll take a pat on the back and say that maybe we inspired some of it, and that's that feels good.
And it ups your game a bit.
Totally. As
Totally.
well, it's not cliches are for a reason,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
competition is healthy. Yeah.
So you have a new product line of cold-pressed juices.
Yeah.
So tell us, before you get into describing them, what's so great about cold-pressed juices?
The thing about cold press is it's the type of equipment that's used to press the juice or to get that glass of juice. So traditionally, juice bars that we all know and have loved use a centrifugal juicer, which spins. Mm-hmm. That's great if you're prepared to drink it right away. And even so, even though it was the best option for many years, the friction, as soon as you create heat of friction when you're separating the pulp from the juice, you lose valuable enzymatic activity. You lose the nutritional benefits. Not altogether right away, but very quickly over time. So that's why, I've never been able to, when we cater or do events, we don't do carrot, we don't do apple, because those go brown. Why do they go brown? Because they oxidize, so they lose value. Cold press juicing uses a hydraulic press. The ingredients are kept cold. There's no heat, there's no friction, and you get pretty much, sometimes we say 110% of the nutritional profile is preserved. And not only just in that moment, but 3 days later, it's still just as powerful. So all of a sudden now you've got juice bars, you can grab your juice, but it's super convenient because you can take it home. You don't have to go back every day. You can have juice for the next 3 days, and it's still as good as it was that first moment. And that is what changed the game. It was a game changer.
Even if you open it up?
Yeah.
And let's say have a glass and then leave the other half?
Yeah, it's not about the seal. It's about how it was pressed and about the temperature that you keep it at. So it definitely has to be kept at a certain temperature of coolness, refrigerated. But you also, I'm sure here, I don't know if you can see these, but the other thing about cold press is can you see how bright these colors are?
I know.
It's
I was just
crazy.
Very vivid.
Right.
We've got, there's 4 in front. If you're watching this later on the YouTube channel, you can see them. So the one you're holding up now it's a beautiful. It looks like pineapple juice.
It does, but it's actually apple, ginger, and lemon.
Apple, ginger, and lemon.
And we pressed this last night, and it's a bright yellow. Like, if this were a regularly squeezed apple, it would already have started to turn brown. And there's nothing else in this, no preservatives. There's nothing else in this, no preservatives or anything like that. So yeah. Now the thing about me and my ingredients, if I say ginger, like I really mean it. So there's a lot of ginger in this. So you really do get a glow. If I say you're gonna glow, you're gonna start sweating and glowing. It's a good thing.
And the next one is very, very green.
Yes. So I'm really into green juices and all that green provides, the cleansing aspect. So this is the easy green. It's the easiest of the 3 green juices to drink. It's got a pineapple base, and then it has cilantro and mint and cucumber and spinach and kale. And so there's plenty of greens, but really what you're tasting when you're drinking it is the nice pineapple flavor. So if you're new at this, it's not so scary.
And the orange.
Right, the orange. It's like a neon orange.
Mm-hmm.
This is carrot and orange. It's got cayenne pepper and apple and lemon. And again, it's very, very spicy because it's got the cayenne. Cayenne has got one of the single highest botanical sources of vitamin C. So
is that the vitamin? Is that the vitamin C elixir one?
This is the vitamin C elixir. That's right. And you'll notice every bottle. The whole thing about the cold press thing, the tags are cold press, 100% organic, raw, vegan. These are the things that people want to know. They want to know that it's raw. The raw food movement, has partly been driven by cold pressed juices.
Really?
So raw just means it's as close to its natural state as possible, which is why these are great for cleanses. And we hear a lot about juice cleansing and detoxifying. Cold press is really the best way to go. Not only because it's convenient, it's next level,
Now the last one you brought in is an antioxidant one.
Actually, I brought the Daily Dose.
Oh, the Daily Dose.
The antioxidant and Daily Dose both have beet. This is more of a ruby, and the antioxidant is like a bright purple. it's got beet, but it's also got goji berries and Himalayan pink salt.
That's the salt that's closest to your body salt, right?
I guess so.
Well, that's what
See,
they say.
you know a thing or two. What's really cool about it is the goji berries that are pressed into it. So it's a very rich, thick, pure juice and super fortifying. So this is a great afternoon pickup. I just finished a 16-day juice cleanse.
So what would take us through your
And I
day
drank
on
a lot of
juice
this
cleanse?
stuff.
On a juice cleanse? How would your day look? Like, what would you actually be drinking?
Well, the collection, we have 12 juices and milks in the collection, and they're
Mad chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Mad
It's
chocolate.
so good.
Is that part of the cleanse?
Yeah.
Can I do a Mad chocolate cleanse?
Yeah, you
okay.
should.
I'm in.
And I think for me anyways, if it had been 10 years since I had cleansed, so for as long as I was drinking juice and those milks, the order or the sequence didn't really matter so much. I started my day always with a lemon and water, and then anything goes. I think the important thing with the cleanse is you have to stay ahead of the hunger and the fatigue initially till you kind of get in the saddle. So the milks are great because they're high protein. So when your brain starts to get a little fuzzy because you're feeling depleted, those milks are great. I drank a lot of green juice.
So, but how many bottles this size?
6 bottles.
Six
16-ounce bottles and 2 8-ounce milks every day.
And
so
that's
6
a cleanse.
bottles and two milks.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
tea and stuff as well? Did you have some
herbal
tea,
tea,
later
no
at night?
caffeine. Yeah, you can have anything else that's liquid that is not alcohol.
Yeah.
Or coffee.
Just spike that juice with a little vodka.
No coffee or alcohol?
She's out.
I'm done.
Nobody's watching, and it's entirely up
No,
to you.
I-
But if you want to get the most out of your $80 plus a day juice cleanse,
Well, I'll pass on the juice cleanse, but I will come in one day and have a Mad chocolate and see what that's at.
Please.
But what I'd like to know is, since you're so ahead of the curve, and you're talking about goji berries and chai seeds, and what is the next big thing? Because you were 25 years ahead of the curve, so you must know. What's the next thing that's going to hit the market that everybody's going to have in everything?
I only know because of what I get into myself.
Okay.
And
That's good enough.
Well, you're a trendsetter, so we'll take that.
Okay. Gosh, I'm blanking. I guess I'm just so into the cold press thing right now, and that's really, I think that if we're talking about Canada and Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, we haven't really hit the wave that they're experiencing in the big cities of New York and LA especially. So I would have to say that it's the cold press thing, the organic raw cold pressed juices, and all that involves, all those ingredients.
So what about the detractors who say juices are just full of sugar and you don't get the fiber? So you're drinking way more juice, way more sugar, because you don't have the fiber to fill you up.
Right. Well, we have a juice in our collection called the Clean Green.
Okay.
It's all greens. With a little bit of lemon, no apple. So it is true. Beets are naturally high in sugar, orange, carrot. It really is all about moderation. The idea is, of course you need fiber, so then have a salad, have a nice, beautiful, vibrant salad. But a glass of juice is also, there's 3 pounds of fruits and vegetables in every bottle of 16-ounce cold-pressed juice. You couldn't possibly eat 3 pounds in a sitting. So you're getting the amplified nutritional benefits of a glass of juice, but no one's saying you shouldn't be chewing and eating and enjoying.
Yes.
But, try not to have a plate of French fries.
Yeah, that would be good.
That's fiber, but that's not good for you.
And they range from $8 to $11?
Yeah, they range from $8 to $11. They're made from 100% organic ingredients.
They look
It's not an
beautiful.
inexpensive habit, that's for sure.
But if you're going to do a juice cleanse, if you're going to take the plunge,
Yeah.
as someone that has done it and spent a lot of time buying a lot of, vegetables and the time to clean, prepare, and juice them,
This is just
This
perfect.
is the way to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, it's worth it. And if you do it once a year, you know, and consider it a retreat, you're way ahead of the game. You know, it's I've never felt better, honestly. You know, I thought I felt pretty good, but after this cleanse,
You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Ruth Tal, sharing your story. And again, you have locations. Tell our listeners where they can find Fresh right now.
Right now, at this moment, we have 4 locations in Toronto. As you mentioned earlier, Fresh on Eglinton, which is our first North Toronto location. We're at Bloor and Spadina, Fresh on Bloor. We're in, we're at Queen West at Queen and Crawford, and we have a beautiful location on Spadina at Richmond. So,
And moving into Montreal.
Moving into
and
Montreal
Mexico.
soon, Mexico City. Can't wait for that. And in a year from now, who knows? Who knows? Dubai? No, not Dubai.
Thank you for taking the time to come in and enlighten us on this.
Thank you. That was fun. Thank you so much.
Click the channel subscribe button for full-length interviews and more from What She Said here on YouTube.